All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below in the description so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO Gym. And the QBO Gym is a place where we have numerous exercises that simulate real life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Every single month, we come out with new exercises for you to practice and complete, and we break it down for you into 4 different sections. So today, we are going to be working in the October strength training section where we really focus on sales tax. At the top here is a little animated video to tell you what you're going to be doing for Craig that month. He is your fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive quiz that relates to the video up above. And then all the way at the bottom are the exercises within this section. So today we are going to wrap up the strength training section and practice making sales tax payments. You will need to be in the sample company. In fact, you should be in the same session of the sample company that you did for all of the previous exercises. If you have not completed those yet, go ahead and click on the link on the top right corner of your screen. That'll take you to the first exercise. Complete that one and all the ones following it until you get back to this one. They all build on each other, and so you need to make sure that you do them all before you get to this one. So our scenario today is that the month is over and it's time to pay Craig's California sales tax. He has done the actual filing and payment on the state's website, so it just needs to be recorded in QBO. He was late, however, so you'll need to adjust for his $15 late filing fee. So because QBO is automatically tracking your sales tax liability, it's really important that when you make a payment, that when you record that payment, that you do so in the sales tax center and not just as an expense transaction. So to get there on the left-hand nav bar, you need to hover over taxes and then select sales tax. So here I am in the sample company. I'm on the last page that I left off of. If you look over here on the left-hand nav bar, here is taxes. Hover over that and then select sales tax. And it will pop up the sales tax center. Right now, it is selected as Arizona Department of Revenue, and you can tell because it's got the green bar right here and it shows down here the periods for the year for Arizona. But we actually want to look at the one for California. So we're going to click on the tile for California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. So let's go ahead and click on that one. Anywhere in that tile is fine. And when you do that, you will see that it is now adjusted to doing it on a monthly basis. Because if you remember, for Arizona, in a previous exercise, Arizona was paid on a quarterly basis and California was paid on a monthly basis. So because we selected, like I said, because we selected monthly as the filing for California, you'll see it in the list of tax liability for each month. In the sample company, only one period has been filed and paid. You can see that if you scroll down, there is just that one that's showing as paid. In a real life scenario, of course, you would want to make sure that each one was paid according to the schedule set forth by the state. Even if your liability is 0, you still need to file. So for the purposes of this exercise, we will just focus on last month's return. Bearing in mind that your dates and your numbers will be a little bit different based on when you do this exercise or you watch this video, we're going to click on the View Tax Return for the last month, the previous month than what you're in right now. It should be the second to last one in the list. So it should be the one that's like under this paid. So go ahead and click on the blue link that says View Tax Return. And you will see this page appear for you. Now, as we saw in those previous exercise, this is the page that includes instructions for filing your return and even a link to the state's website. Remember, you have to make the payment on the state's website. You can't actually do it directly from QBO. This is just for recording the payment once it's been made directly to the state's website. From here, you can see your total liability for the period. And if you want to see more detail, you can even load the tax liability report for this period. This time when you run the report, it will be more precisely for this period. So Craig should have included a copy of this liability report when he filed the taxes. On this page, we have to add an adjustment. Some states allow for rounding, so you don't have to pay the precise amount. Other times you may have to pay a penalty, such as what we are doing in this exercise, because remember he had that late fee. And then some states just offer a discount for early filing. So we're going to click on the plus add an adjustment link. So go ahead and click on that right there, and you'll see this little pop-up show up for you. We want to go ahead and fill it out, but first you need to know, you need to indicate why you are making the adjustment. So you can choose from one of the following. It could be a credit or discount, which means that a credit or discount received from the agency. Prepayment, which is what you use when you are making an additional payment for a future return in the current filing period. A prior prepayment, use this when a prepayment has made privately or was made previously. And then other, use this for penalties, interest, or rounding. So we are going to be using the other one because it is a penalty. So we want to go ahead and select other for that reason. So go and click into this reason and select other, and more information will appear for us. For the adjustment date, we're going to leave it as is, but in a real life scenario, you would want to be, this would want to be the date that Craig was charged that penalty. Under account, select taxes and license. And in a real life scenario, you would want to set up an account specifically for sales tax fees. You could always ask Craig's accountant how they would like it to be categorized. You will notice though that you cannot add an account from this screen the way you could like on an invoice or an expense, where you can just do that plus add new if you need to add a new account to the chart of accounts. So if you wanted to use an account other than what is listed here, you have to go out of this and go back into the chart of accounts prior to making this adjustment. So let's go ahead and change the account to, what did I say? It was taxes and licenses. You click on the arrow, you can actually start typing in taxes so that it pops up for you. And then the amount we said was $15 for this late fee. So go ahead and put that in the amount. And then in the memo field, we're going to enter late fee. It's always good to give a little bit of a description of what this is actually for, because other penalties, interest, rounding errors, it doesn't really specify what exactly it is that we are doing. So we're going to go ahead and type in late fee so that it's very clear to us why this $15 adjustment is being made here. We're going to click on add, and you'll note that your total tax due, I'm sorry, just as a note, your total tax due may be different than what they have in the picture here. So we're not as concerned about numbers in this particular exercise. Other exercises, yes, but this one, it's more about showing you the steps that you would do to record this sales tax payment. So go ahead and click on the green add button, and you will see now that it has been added to the tax total. We're going to click on the record payment because everything's good. And this is what we are going to say is what Craig had actually paid to the state. So go ahead and click on the green record payments. And you will see this other drop down appear, or page appear. This screen has additional information on payment and a link to the state's website in case you did not use it previously. You can also open the sales tax liability report for this period. It's that download your full report link. You can do that from this page as well. And that's right there. There's your tax agency's website if you need to go back to it. So we're going to fill out the rest of this form, this record payment form. We're going to leave the tax amount field as is. This is pre-populated from the previous screen. In the payment date field, we're going to enter today's date. Again, this would be the date as to whatever day it is that this was actually paid. So you can go ahead and click into it and put the date for today. The bank account is going to be checking. So go ahead and click on the arrow and then select checking. And then in the memo field, it's always good measure to just add something here in case you ever need to refer back to it. So we're just going to type payment plus late fee. That way we know exactly what is included in here if we ever need to look back at it. So payment plus late fee is right there. And then you're going to simply click on Record Payment. So click on the green Record Payment right there. And now it is showing that it has been paid for us. So now we're going to go back to the Sales Tax Center by clicking on the button at the top. Go ahead and click on that. And now we are back to that page. And it's automatically going back to Arizona. If we click back on California and we scroll down, we see that the one that we just did is now paid. Remember that the sales tax liability report will not change after you have made this payment because that report shows the sales tax accrued or collected during the period. So to see the effect of the payment, you actually have to go back to the balance sheet like we did on a previous exercise, or you can just view it from the register in the chart of accounts. So let's see what that looks like. We want to click on Accountant Tools and then select Chart of Accounts. So that is right here at the top, Accountant Tools right there, and then select Chart of Accounts to get into that. We need to find the Board of Equalization payable. This is the account that we have been using to collect California's sales tax liability. So this is a liability account. So right now we have the other current assets, fixed assets, other current liabilities. Here it is. Here is that Board of Equalization payable line. We want to click on View Register so that we can see a little more detail of what's going on in it. If you get any pop-ups, go ahead and click out of those. QBO is always just trying to be super helpful. Here you can see the history of this account. The ending balance is the liability still due, either from a prior unpaid balance or from accumulating but not yet due charges. You can see each transaction that has affected this account, including the most recent late fee and payment. Amy's transactions are listed 4 times because there are 4 taxes being collected when based on account or based on location is turned on. You may remember this from a previous screen when we had run those reports and you saw that Amy's was broken down into separate line items. And that's because one is for California State, one is for California Contra Costa County, California Contra Costa County District, and then California San Pablo City District. All 4 are zeros because Amy is exempt from all of them. So let's take a look right here. Here is that one for Amy's Bird Sanctuary. There are there are the 4, and it's showing as 0 again because we have changed her status to being tax exempt. And just as another note here that you cannot make changes to the sales tax payment nor the adjustment. And that is it. That is how you would adjust a return and make sales tax payments. And if you have any questions or want to know more about the QBO Gym, just go ahead and click on the link below in the description. We have finished the strength training section. We move on to the cool down section where we really focus on reconciling accounts and running reports. And I will see you in the next video.